In this video, we'll take a look at a few exercise questions from exercise 4.4. Number 1, a string collector had the following lengths of string: 1.4 decameters, 302 centimeters, 7.4 meters, and 89 decimeters. If the collector laid the string end to end, so here's these lengths of string, how many meters of string would he have in all? So we want to find the total in meters. So we don't know what the total in meters is. And what we see here is we have all different units. So one of them we can keep, this 7.4 meters. We won't have to convert that one. But we're going to be adding all these different lengths, so we need to convert the other ones. So if we look at 1.4 decameters, if we're converting decameters to meters, that means we're going one place to the right. So the 1.4 decameters, one place to the right, is equal to 14 meters. For the 302 centimeters, for centimeters, we're going to be moving 2 places to the left. So our decimal will go at the end, and we'll move 2 places to the left, giving us 3.02 meters. 7.4 meters is fine, and then the 89 decimeters, from decimeters to meters, is 1 place to the left. So we're just going to move 1 decimal place to the left, so that will be 8.9 meters. So now we can add these lengths of string up because they're all the same units. So we're going to add the 14 plus the 3.02 plus the 7.4 and plus the 8.9. And our answer will be in meters. When we add those 4 numbers up, the answer is 33.32 meters. So he would have 33.32 meters in all. Question number 8 is a really good one. If the distance from Edmonton to Calgary is 321 kilometers and it takes Susan 3 hours to get there, how many meters has Susan traveled after half an hour? Hint, how far does she travel in 1 hour? There's a couple ways to go about this problem. In fact, there are many ways to go about it. I'm just going to show 2 different methods. So the first method, method 1, is to figure out the distance for half an hour in kilometers. So we know that the distance is 321 kilometers, and we know it takes Susan 3 hours to get there. So what we can do is figure out how far she went in 1 hour, and then figure out for half an hour. And what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to convert at the end, but you could convert the 321 kilometers at the beginning if you like. So when we look at kilometers, hectometers, decameters, and meters, we're going to be using this part of the metric line to do our conversion. Let's figure out in kilometers first. So 321 kilometers divided by 3, what's that going to give us? 321 divided by 3, this equals 107 kilometers in 1 hour. But the question wants to know how many meters she's traveled after 0.5 hours. So that's half an hour. So what we have to do then is calculate half of 107. We can do that by dividing by 2 or by multiplying by 0.5. Either one will give us half, or 0.5, of 107. So when we divide that by 2, we get 53.5 kilometers. Now the question wants the answer in meters. So now we're going to do our conversion. We're going to convert 53.5 kilometers. And when we move from kilometers to meters, we're going to move 1, 2, 3 decimal places to the right. So I'm going to be moving 1, 2, 3 decimal places. So I'm going to be filling up with some zeros. So 53.5 kilometers is equal to 53,500 meters. And that's the distance in 30 minutes, or 0.5 of an hour. Remember, for method 1, you could have also done the conversion first. You could have converted the 321 kilometers into meters, which would have given you 321,000 meters. Divided that by 3, and then either divide by 2 or multiply by 0.5, and you would have given the same result. So you can convert sometimes at the beginning, or sometimes at the end. I'm going to show you a second method, and this is a great method to use that goes back to our module 3, which is a proportion. This kind of question is perfect for setting up a proportion because it's a comparison of time. 321 kilometers for 3 hours, so how many kilometers for half an hour? And that's how I'm going to set up my proportion. So my first step is to set up, well, if I go 321 kilometers in 3 hours, how many kilometers, and that's going to be our unknown, in 0.5 hours. Now again, I've chosen not to do the conversion yet. I've chosen to keep it in kilometers until the end and then convert. When we cross multiply and divide, and I'm just going to show this algebraically, so 3 times x and 321 times 0.5. So we take the 321 times 0.5 equals 160.5 is equal to 3x, and we divide by 3. And remember, you can cross multiply and divide more quickly if you like. Either way, you're going to come out as x equal 53.5 kilometers. And then from there, you can convert. So we're going to convert that 53.5 into meters, which will give us the same answer, 53,500 meters. So oftentimes we can use our proportion knowledge to solve a word problem that also involves converting. And for number 9, we're going to use proportions to solve. A year on Mars is about 1.9 years on Earth. So this is a comparison between the 2 planets. So if we look at Mars and we look at Earth, 1 year on Mars is about 1.9 years on Earth. So Mars and Earth. So then we can calculate how many years on Earth each of these times represents. So if we're looking at 25 years on Mars, well, for our first one, if 1 year on Mars is equal to 1.9 years on Earth, then 25 years on Mars would be how many years on Earth? So we can set up a proportion showing a relationship. So when we cross multiply and divide, we're going to see that x, the years on Earth, is 47.5 years. For number 2, a decade on Mars. A decade is 10 years. So we can keep with the same proportion. So 1 year on Mars, I'm just going to keep labeling it so I get this straight for myself, is 1.9 years on Earth. So a decade on Mars would be 10 years is equal to X number on Earth. And I will cross multiply 1.9 times 10 divided by 1, which won't change the number. So X is equal to 19 years. And then number 3, a century on Mars. Century is equal to 100 years. So Mars, for every 1 year on Mars, that is 1.9 years on Earth, is equal to, for every 100 years on Mars, how many years is that on Earth? And now we take 1.9 times 100. And that's going to give us 190 years. What is your age in Mars years? You can set up the same proportion. My kids and I like to joke because I tricked them and they're so sweet. They believed that I was 26 years old, so I'm going to use that one. So if you are, for example, 26 years right, on Earth. Pardon me, I put my proportion in the wrong place here. So if you are 26 years on Earth, how many is that in Mars years? So you would take 26, 1 times 26 is just 26, divided by 1.9. So X here would be 13.6, so let's just call it 14 years. So this is an example. So now you can figure out how old are you today if you lived on Mars.